Good morning. My name is Rachel Burns. Who all here today has put off studying for an exam because they'd rather be hanging out with their friends, maybe going to a dance, or go sing along at your favorite artist concert? And doing so, that left you cramming for a big exam in about 30 so minutes, completely lost with a nagging feeling regret in your stomach. I know I have felt that moment for years due to my lack of commitment and preparedness at a young age. Um, it resulted me being unsuccessful in my first attempt and not returning for 20 years. Um, there will always be things that we'd rather be doing than studying for an exam or doing our classwork, but putting in the work now, today, will result in you being successful in your education and your future. Today, I want to talk to you about something we all face, that tug of war between what you want to do and what you need to do. And I'd like to present two examples of how lack of commitment and being prepared can impact your future. First, I want to share with you the Aesop's fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper. The ant and the grasshopper tells a story. Well, first, excuse me, it was retrieved from Get Aesop in September. It highlights the importance for there's a time for work and a time for play. All summer long, a grasshopper, he sang and he danced in the field carefree. And when he saw a group of ants struggling to carry corn, he asked, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And they said, "We're storing food for the winter, and you should probably do the same." The grasshopper said, "No, the winter is so far away, and this is such a beautiful day um, that I'd rather be out here singing, dancing, and playing." So when winter came, the sorry, when winter came, the grasshopper had no food. Um, and he went to the ants and he begged for food. He said, "Well, I was singing and dancing to the music all summer, and before I knew it, I don't have anything to eat." And the ants shook their heads and they moved away. um, the fable tells the story that a grasshopper found himself without food for all winter because he would rather sing instead of gathering food. Even when he recommended to get food, it, thinking that he would have plenty of time, excuse me, the ants, no, the lack of preparedness put him in a situation, leaving him starving all winter without the sympathy from the ants. The ants didn't panic, though. They knew that they wouldn't starve because they prepared. In summary, this Aesop fable tells us there's a time for work and there's a time for play. And decisions you make today will affect the success or the failure you have in the future. After examining the Aesop fable, let's take a look at an example that's more relevant in my situation. When I went to university right after high school, I was immature and I was irresponsible. I struggled with time management, and then I struggled with finding the time between play and work. I was the definition of being unprepared, not because I wasn't smart, not because I didn't but because I didn't understand the value of showing up ready. I focused on more when the next party was instead of when my next class would be. I knew where the next party was going to be, but I didn't know my class schedule. Um, I knew when the clubs were going to open, but I was not, sorry, but not my next class. Um, like the ant, I would sing and dance. I would be out all night drinking at clubs instead of doing classwork, preparing for exams, or being rested for my next morning's class. Most of the time, I didn't even wake up for the next class. These behaviors led me down, these behaviors never being prepared for an exam and ultimately resulted in failing out of class. Moving back home with my parents and formulating unhealthy patterns that would turn into habits. Like the ants, no one showed me empathy. It was my responsibility to show up prepared for classwork, and it was my choice to sing and dance my education and future away. I thought I had time to bounce back, but the time that I lost wasn't just a few weeks. It would be 20 years before entering a new chapter in my life with a new mindset. I now understand that preparation is everything. It's the quiet work behind doors. It's the getting up even when I'm tired and studying even when my friends are out and learning to say no so you can say yes to your future. This time I don't skip class. I don't skip a reading. I prepare in creating patterns that build a future so that I don't have to run away from. Um, Both stories illustrate the value of managing work and playtime and being prepared for the needs of your future. As you see, I was much like the grasshopper. I was short-sighted and I didn't plan ahead. That left me starving for life and starving for a future for many years. I couldn't see past the party. When I examine the parallels between the grasshopper story and my story, we see that there'll always be distractions that will pull you away from your work, but it's your responsibility to be able to identify what is harmful or what's helping you build the future that you want. It's your responsibility to manage your time appropriately, prepare yourself for necessary actions to obtain a successful future. There is a time for work and there's a time for play. The key to success is finding the balance between the two. No one gets there by accident, and no one gets there unprepared. Thank you. Are there any questions?